Hi there, this is Gia Freer with Palm Beach Premier Real Estate. Welcome back to our video blog. I have today the local market report for Boca Raton and Palm Beach County for February 2019. Now, there is a lot of information we're going to be covering this month, so I will be giving you some advance notice. I'm going to be reading a good chunk of this, so forewarning. At any rate, this month Grant and I wanted to revisit some of the macroeconomic warning signals that we discussed in last month's video. You know, now that the Federal Reserve has given us some additional guidance for the remainder of 2019. First off, what did the Federal Reserve say? Well, they definitely seem to be backtracking now on interest rate increases now that they've acknowledged that the economic slowdown is sharper than they had anticipated. At the same time, while they did stress no interest rate increase for 2019, they did suggest that there would be at least one interest rate increase in 2020. So what's the impact? Well, mortgage rates dropped sharply to last week's average 30-year fixed rate mortgage being 4.44%. That's great for anybody looking to purchase a property or to refinance. Now, what is worrying is, consider the following. Number one, Palm Beach County's housing numbers in February, they were woeful, although not nearly as bad as January's. Specifically, closed sales, median prices, cash sales, and listing price to final sales prices were all down sharply from the same month a year ago. At the same time, inventory levels and the number of days to get a property under contract, they were both significantly higher. What does that mean? It means more supply, less demand. Number two, there is yet more evidence that the consumer is tapped out. Deutsche Bank wrote a report detailing signs that the U.S. household is running up against its willingness and ability to assume more debt and monthly interest expenses. So while mortgage rates may have dropped, interest rates on auto loans and credit cards have increased sharply. In fact, number three, the total consumer debt, it broke another record in January according to the latest report by the Federal Reserve, with the overall consumer borrowing rising to $4.03 trillion. The consumer debt figures include credit card debt, student loans, and auto loans. It does not include mortgage debt. Interestingly, U.S. new home sales, that data, it's down 7%, with builder sentiment and buyer traffic through new models both low. Given the rising cost pressures builders are facing, this could suggest continued difficulty for new homes and new construction ahead. Finally, consider this. Last year, housing was 6% of our nation's GDP. That's the gross domestic product, and going down. Now, housing is 3.5% of the GDP and going up. That is a significant change in the overall housing market in a very short period of time. So clearly, the housing market is facing some headwinds and some significant downward pressure in the marketplace. So there are three factors that we need to look at. Number one, we've reached the top of a real estate cycle. Now, real estate cycles generally run every 7 to 10 years. The bottom of the cycle was 2008. The top was 2018. So it stands to reason that we're starting a downward leg. Number two, we've reached the top of a debt cycle. There have been 4 interest rate increases in 2018. There have been 9 interest rate increases by the Federal Reserve in that 10-year period. And that has definitely created headwinds with consumers that are highly leveraged. Now, keep in mind, for every 1% increase to the mortgage rate, it actually impacts buying power by 10%. Number three, buyers have price fatigue. Property values have increased since 2008 40%, give or take, and wages have only increased 10%. So it just has not kept pace. That said, it's not sustainable. So either folks are going to have to start getting pay raises and increases in their wages, or prices are going to have to come down. So which do you think is most likely going to happen? So that said, we're going to look ahead to the rest of 2019 as it relates to housing. We can certainly extrapolate a few things. Number one, the average household cost to service debt has reached a point where it'll become more difficult and challenging to find buyers who can qualify for conventional financing, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA. Second, housing affordability issues will continue to be a theme going forward. Number three, inventory will continue to increase, prices will continue to soften, and properties will most likely sit on the market for a significant amount of time. Finally, number four, the effects of the worldwide economic slowdown will be felt here in the United States and throughout 2019 and 2020, and it will have a knock-on effect on the housing market. Now, going forward, we're definitely going to keep a close watch on closed sales, inventory levels, and interest rates. And for anybody interested in a confidential consultation with us here at Palm Beach Premier Real Estate, we would love to hear from you. Our information's below. You can reach out to us at 561-395-8418, or you can email us info@pbprealestate.com. Again, this is Gia Freer with Palm Beach Premier Real Estate. Thank you again for watching.